Corruption in Jamaica is here to stay, and here's the reason why. As a country, we are very unserious about this issue. We want corruption to be removed from every facet of society, from the justice system, from all systems of government, from private businesses, from everywhere, so long as we are not benefiting from it. If we are benefiting directly from the corruption, we don't really have a problem with it. If somebody that we like is benefiting from the inadequacies in the system, we don't really have a problem with it. No, I can't speak much about the case that everyone was celebrating this week because the conviction was overturned, so I'm done talking about that. But you know who I can speak about? Mr. Sicature Alcock, aka Jacure. Jacure was convicted and sentenced and served 8 years of his sentence in prison. A jury listened to the entire story and convicted him. And yet, there were many Jamaicans for many years, men and women, this is not even a gender issue, men and women who kept insisting that he was innocent and that the girl lied. And even going as far as to say, well, what if he really did it? Well, you know, he needs to be free. And a lot of people were insisting that the one time that the justice system actually worked the way it is supposed to, that person should have been just let go because they like him. They like his songs. And so because they like his songs, he should just walk free. I've been unfortunate to sit in court and hear details of a sex assault trial. It is graphic. Every single detail has to be laid out in court. Everything is evidence. They're going to dig up every history about you, right? Nobody in that courtroom is on your side. They all think you're a liar. The judge thinks you're a liar. The lawyers think you're a liar. The people sitting in the jury box think you're a liar. And you have to prove to all these people in there, all these strangers who now know every person you have been intimate with, everything intimate detail about your life, these people who you don't even know, they now know your business. And you have to prove to these people that you are in fact not a liar. People listened to the evidence and agreed and convicted him. He is a convicted rapist. And to this day, people are saying that that man should not have been convicted and the girl's a liar. The same Jamaicans who will use as an example of corruption in the system, right? The X6 or X5 killer, whatever it is. The same people who will use that as an example of corruption in the system is the same people who will advocate for their favorite people to be released and be joyous, you know, who will advocate when it is someone they like. These are the same people who want to call attention to the corruption and the inadequacies in the system when it's someone who they feel should be there. And so how are we going to address corruption if we feel that corruption should be a respecter of persons? Jamaicans are not in any uproar about all the people who are languishing under the Governor General's pleasure for how many years and decades in prison. Jamaicans are not holding any protests and having any discussions and panels and round table about these people who have been deemed unfit for trial and are being held at the Governor General's pleasure, some of them for 30 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, in the prisons, in some horrible conditions. Jamaicans don't have a problem with that because these are not people they know and these are not people they like. We have been conditioned that only people who can afford more get more. And I think that is very deliberate on the part of our ruling class, that we are conditioned to expect less and come to accept that only people who can afford more get more. If you want a system to work for good for you and your family, it has to work for everybody. A system cannot be a respecter of persons. And too many of us have accepted that When you go and you want something good and you want something to work, whether it's a government agency, whether you go to the public hospital, whether you go to the bank, whether you have to deal with whatever systems, too many of us accept that we have to go into our pocket and shell out when we want more, and it should not be that way. But because we have our own prejudices, wherein there are people who we actually don't want the system working for. As soon as you mention a group of people that they feel should not have rights, they jump in the comments and tell you why those people should not have rights. If we want our country to be a good country that benefits its citizens, where you can live comfortably, it has to benefit everybody. There cannot be exclusions. And until we realize that as a country, the corruption is here to stay, all the inadequacies are here to stay, everything that is wrong with Jamaica is here to stay, and is going to stay in the way and disrupt what is right.